Okay, so today I am going to redo my oil cooler line connectors. Let's get the light over here if you can see them. It's right hiding behind here. So there's one. The other one down is lower. That looks just like this one that I'm pointing at right here where I got my fingers around. Mine are not what they're supposed to be. So yours are probably a little bit different if you have this same vehicle. It's a 2005 GMC Yukon Denali all-wheel drive 6-liter. Once upon a time, about 5 years ago, my radiator, my wife came home, and out of the top of this, actually on the ground, there was what looked like strawberry milkshake. And so what happens on this side, just like on that other side, where the oil cooler lines are, there's little smaller diameter lines that come from the transmission. Here's one of them. And the barrier that was between the transmission fluid and the radiator fluid was breached somehow in the radiator. And so coolant actually was spitting out of here, mixing with it. And so it was coming out and looked like strawberry milkshake. So had my transmission serviced and the radiator replaced. The guy that did it, it's been long enough to where I don't remember the details, but I'm thinking that I remember him telling me that he upgraded the radiator to like a heavy duty one. But what that means is that my OEM oil cooler quick connects, engine oil cooler line connectors are not what they're supposed to be. There's something else. And so proving to find the right one has been a little difficult because it isn't what it's supposed to be. But anyway, enough of that backstory. But this, I've done it a few times now because I put in the wrong part. I got the one that Dorman says is the right one. Tried it and it didn't work. I thought they just redesigned it. Start by loosening this bolt right here. Using my drill. Says it's 5/16. It's probably like a, I don't know, a 10 millimeter. I'm not sure exactly. Just now noticed. So you loosen that one, and here are these tabs in the back. They just slide in there. So you take that off first. Then you loosen this with the same drill bit. Loosen this big hose clamp as this one. Yeah, I just found it easier to just use that. Then you want to loosen, take this out, take it out from there. Same, there's another one of these, but you can't quite see it there. And then there's a little tab where this hose goes into here, mates with it, so I just pop that out with a screwdriver, flathead. And then you can take this out. I drop my drill if I do it like that. So bear with me for a sec. See if I can do this one-handed. That came out. Pop this off right here. This is a piece of cake two-handed, but one-handed not so much. Then just take this whole thing off. You see the hole right there in the middle where this connection, or this little doohickey, goes into that hole. So you want to take a flat head, pry that out. Comes out easy. So next what we're going to do is loosen this bolt, and it's the same size as this one. I did this one accidentally last night when I was doing this. I had to put my old ones back on because the replacement ones were wrong. And so the two inside ones, they're both right here, and I believe they are 13 mil. Let me see if it's 12. Maybe. Yeah, it looks like I've got a 1/2 inch on here, so that's what I use. So it's 13 mil or 1/2 inch. And then you will want to disconnect both the electric fans. This is a 2005, so yours is probably a little different if it's a 2004 because it has the fan that's driven from the main pulley. Anyway, you just depress the tab. Can't do it with my left hand. Depress this tab here at the bottom. and it slides off just like that. There's two of them, one to each fan. See if I can do this one left-handed. Yep, I got it. Pop. Came right off. Little dog ears down here. Not gonna be able to show them, but it's about halfway down. Makes it a little difficult to pull this out once you loosen that bolt and the other side. So what I recommend is loosen both up, move this upper radiator hose out of your way. It also has one of these little clamps. You need to pop it out with a flat head too. Mine's been out enough times where I can just do it by hand. And I move this out of the way, and then I can lift the fan out. I recommend by pulling one side, just pick a side, lift it up at about a 45, 30 degrees, whatever, to where you can shimmy it out, because little dog ears, I'll show them to you on the fans as well. Once I pull it out, that cause it to not want to come out in this little confined space here. But you got plenty of room. Anyway, I'll pause here for a second while I loosen the those two fan bolts. By the way, on my vehicle, this bolt is longer than the one on the other side. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be that way, because like I said, somebody replaced the radiator about 5 years ago. But that's the way it is on mine. So I think you want to get it up about this far, straight up, before you start pulling one side up more than the other. Just move that upper radiator hose around. It'll take the abuse, no problem. So what I ended up doing, I pushed it back as far as I could, and then I lifted up here on the driver's side. Got this dog ear thing right here. There's one on each side that actually allows you to mount it in place. It catches right here on both sides. Looks like I might have to do this with the transmission cooler soon, because it looks like that one's leaking. Oh, but at least I know how to do this easier than crap, so it's not hard. But for me, getting the right part is the hard part. Anyway, fun stuff. Just focusing on this for now, because the bottom one's leaking pretty good. The parts that I mentioned, the one that goes to this car doesn't work, and it leaked quite a bit. Can't see it, but because I cleaned it up a bunch, but put the other ones back in. You'll notice too that I've used hose clamps here instead. My friend that's a GM mechanic, been a GM mechanic for a long time, said that if you just replace it, those factory crimp settings, or sorry, the factory crimped ends are prone to just repeat their problem, bust and leak. And so he said this is a permanent fix, and if it's not, it's really easy to replace both sections of hose, you know. In a few years we ended up flaring both these ends, which proved to be a little bit of a challenge, but he had the right tool to do it. The one that I bought from Harbor Freight just broke. Instead of actually flaring the ends. I saw a video on YouTube where the guy he flared the ends on this one, but that apparently that tube being smaller diameter is a little bit easier to flare the ends, or double flare the ends. Anyway, I'm rambling. So I thought I'd show you this. So to get these plastic pieces off, you just kind of gently shimmy them back. This one, as you can see, has got a big split in it. Or maybe you can't see it because I'm not pointing at it. So it goes back really easy. So I should probably replace that, but it hasn't been an issue, and I'll show it to my friend that's the mechanic and ask him what he thinks. But I think I'm I don't have it right now, and this is such an easy deal that I will redo it if he says that. But this one's still intact. God, that radiator fluid inside that upper radiator hose is hot on my arm. Not sure what the right way to do this is. Just shimmy it back evenly, I would imagine, so you don't crack it. But this thing's 10 years old, so you can see on my fingers that that one bottom one's leaking pretty good. I bought a set of picks at Harbor Freight, but I left them at my friend's house, so I'm just using this dental pick to get underneath the quick connect spring doodad, and then I'm holding it with one hand while I pry it up with this one so I don't lose it. I'll show you that in a second. First I gotta get this other plastic one off, but I won't bore you with while I do it, but I'm just gonna do it gently so I don't break it. So I've got the dental pick underneath the little spring clip. Then I'm gonna take this, wedge it underneath it, and pry it with one hand while holding onto the spring to the other one because I don't want to lose it inside the engine. Although the new spring or the new connectors come with them. It's going out of focus. So not a big deal, but just don't want to lose them. And there it is off. And I forgot to mention that I put a oil catch pan underneath there. What I use to change my oil. It's underneath the car. Can't quite see it. There it is, just like there. Because a little bit oil's gonna come out when you pull the hose or the line. So as you can see, the oil's coming out. I'm just gonna use a crescent wrench because I don't have this size. I think it's 1 inch, not positive. But I'm not really torquing on it, so I'm not worried about stripping it, rounding it. Plus, it's coming out of the vehicle for good anyway, I hope. Yeah, I desperately searched for a connector. That's the only one that looks like it, that Dorman makes, that I could find. It's the right 1/2 inch quick connect, but whether the threads are right, I don't know. It does definitely have that second O-ring. That's what mine does, and not a one of the other ones does. So just a matter of if those threads fit. Got my fingers crossed. I'm sure this is totally obvious, but due to the orientation of this, to loosen it, you're lifting up. But if you didn't know that and you're trying this job, you might be a little bit over your head. But I don't know. Just thought I'd throw that out there because it might help somebody. So here's my old on the left compared to the new on the right. You can see what, I don't know if the one on the left, I can't imagine it being more than 5 years old. It had to have been new with this radiator, but you can see that how that O-ring is compressed compared to the new one on the right. And then there's a second O-ring. I doubt you're going to be able to see it in the old one because it's about flush. But you can see it in the new one. And I believe that's where my leak is, at least on this one. It's leaking around at the quick connect. The left one doesn't have its spring in it. So it looks a little different right at this second, but debating whether or not I'm going to put some thread sealant on this or not. I probably will, because I don't think it can hurt. I've got Teflon tape, and I've also got the Permatex 14, I think it is. It's good up to 300 degrees, and the oil won't be that hot as that. It won't get that hot. They make a high temp one, but it's only good to 400, and it comes in an itty bitty tube. Maybe I'll just wander over and show you what I'm talking about. So this is what I'm talking about right here. I put the Teflon tape on the other one, but the oil does a pretty good number on it. Show you one that I pulled off last night. That's what it looks like after it gets oil on it when it's Teflon tape. Yes, if you can see that. Here's another one too. Of course, it didn't look like that one. It only looks like that when after I pull it off. But it's definitely can tell that the oil is at least discoloring it. I don't know if it would, and that's only after a day. So hopefully this thread sealant with the Teflon in it would do a better job. So that's what I bought it for. So I'm going to use it. I think I'm going to get a good seal though, because this O-ring does everything that's needed once it gets snug up against it. So this other thing will just be a backup for it. But anyway, now the moment of truth. I'm stalling because praying those threads are the same, but they sure look like it. You won't hear me, but I'm gonna scream hallelujah when it does fit. It does fit, so I'm in a very, very good mood. Might as well tell you what it is. So had to get O'Reilly's to, they had it at their warehouse, but it is an 800-607. If you look at the back of it, it says applications, GM models, pickups, CK 2006 through 96. So I'm just wondering if I have like a radiator from a pickup in my truck or in my SUV. So it is a truck, but and it has the 6-liter. So I don't know if this guy was thinking he was just doing me a huge solid, but man, it caused me some serious angst last night when I was thinking I was totally screwed. I had no idea what the part was, because for years surrounding my year, the 2005, they all used this other 622, or sorry, it's 800-622, and that is definitely the wrong part for this car. It's when you're threading it in, you can tell it's all wobbly. The threads are not the same. Anyway, so I'm home free now. I'm gonna put some of this thread sealant, just a little bit, not on the first couple of threads, but on the later ones. Put that in, and I should be done with this in probably 20 minutes or so, because I've done it like 3 times now.